how to get up to $200,000 more when you list your home for sale this year. We're going to talk about NAR update, interest rate update, mortgage rates, what to expect this next week. Big week coming up, jobs report, Fed is meeting, what is happening with inflation. We're going to cover all that. Today's update, let's jump right in. Casey, with interest rates, we have been largely steady this week because the Fed was doing us a favor. They were not talking about interest rates because they're going to have the meeting next week. So you can see here, largely steady. We got some not good inflation news here that then got tempered. So where are we at on 30-year fixed nationwide? Again, this is an estimate with some amount of points and excellent credit and 20% down, but about 7.45%. Now, if you are thinking about selling your home this year, how can people get the most value when listing their home?
I had one client that, of course, wanted to make the most amount of money out of their home sale that they could. They were getting ready to retire. You know, you need that money. And so upon first evaluation, without any renovation work done, the house was valued, I think, between $850,000. And they said, okay, how do we get more? And how do we do it quickly? And how do we do it for the least amount of money possible? And so did a full evaluation of the house. You know, let's work on the exterior, repainting the house to like a cool gray color, you know, getting in those right tones. How do we make the house more inviting, more modern? Worked on that. So by the time we finished, for like a very cheap budget, I mean, I brought in friends and we were like weeding the lawn and pushing beauty bark into it to make it look better. I was sore for like 3 days, but you do what you gotta do, you know? And so, but I was so proud of it. By the end, we were able to list, I told them a lower number than they wanted to hear. I said we should come in at just under $1 million. I think it was like 997. And that was hard for them. But we talked about the pricing strategy and why we wanted to go that route. Well, the next day we go on the market, turns out 14 other homes get on the market, and which is pretty terrible when you have a lot of competitors that are real close by. So, but because we had priced lower, people came to our house. If we had priced any higher, or even at the price we wanted to end up at, nobody would have walked through our front door. And so in the end, 2 offers came in, and I was able to work those 2 offers up to 1.2 million. So we were able to push an extra 200,000, over 200,000 out of that. And then plus, you know, from the original evaluation of 800, 850, to me, it just felt like a slam dunk. They're so happy, you know, to see that it's possible to get those numbers, even when there's competitors that come forth in the market. But it really takes understanding the home, the condition that it's in, the location that it's in, and what can you do to get the highest return on investment, and then how do you price it well so that you can compete properly depending on the market's demand, you know? And so, yeah, those are like some little tips I just wanted to share. Like on average, we've found that our office makes about 200,000 over our competitors, like discount agents in the area. And it's from doing a really specific analysis for our clients and fine tuning it. So we want to bring the most amount of value to them at the end of the day. So if we got to put beauty bark in the front lawn and start weeding, we'll push up our sleeves.
Wow. I mean, so that's incredible. You know, we talk about this. And when we teach our home buying classes, what is the most important characteristic to look for in an agent, right? In a real estate agent? And I get asked this question all the time by clients. And the answer is, sure, it's important to get along with them, like them, if they're friendly, if you enjoy their company and you trust them. And those are all really important things. Do they have knowledge and experience? Yes, but the number one most important characteristic that I can't emphasize enough is find somebody who's an expert negotiator who can apply that market knowledge and understanding. And so what I hear from your story is that your clients came in and the first thing they wanted was, how do we get the biggest bang for our buck, right? And you said, here's how we can really elevate the value of your home by making these small adjustments that'll have a big impact, right? How far does the ripple go? If we drop this pedal in the lake, and how big of an impact does it have? And so you found the most value in every one of those places. And then there's another piece of this puzzle, and correct me if I'm wrong, but where it's the pricing strategy is super important. Is it a really hot market where you're wanting to create and generate more interest and get people into where it almost feels counterintuitive, but it sounds like you listed it a little bit lower, but that brought the attention that then created a bidding war that ultimately drove the price higher, right? Than if you had just stayed there. And that to me is just really fascinating and so worthwhile. So something if you're thinking about selling your home, Casey's here as a resource for you. But also if you're just interviewing agents, this is something to ask about, and something to explore and something to really help you get the most amount for the sale of your home in this market. Also, on that note, we've got clients, Casey, right now who are thinking about how do I buy before I sell? The whole process is very stressful to me right now. How do I can't, it's a competitive market. How do I get an offer accepted without being contingent on the sale of my home? We have a bridge loan that works, that is helping people. So if you're interested in that, let us know. Market, Casey, big week coming up. It's a blockbuster week. Ready? The Fed is meeting. The Fed is going to announce on Wednesday their next move. And you know what they're going to say? Nothing. They're not going to do anything, Casey. They're not going to raise interest rates. They're not going to lower interest rates. But the Fed Chair Powell will say something. He has to, because there's a mandatory press conference. What he's going to say, though, I don't know. It's just not going to change interest rates. Okay, this week we did get inflation. The Fed is focused on this number coming down to 2%, and it's not coming down very quickly. And until that number hits 2%, they're not going to lower interest rates on the Fed funding rate. So we're higher for longer. That's like having an impact. It's making it challenging. And this is from chief economist at the NAR, Lawrence Yun. Home prices are still expected to keep going higher. Why? There's still such a tight supply. Okay, not a lot of people are selling homes. There's more people that want to purchase homes than there are homes available. And so ultimately, that is why we're seeing home prices going higher while interest rates are kind of lagging. Now, that said, Casey, we continue to teach people, equip them. And one thing that we know as well is that the best educated buyers get the best deals. So we've got people coming. I think we've got, 4 or 6 people already registered for this class, May 6th. It's a virtual class. Meet up. The link will be down below. So feel free to join us if you want to get educated. Bring your questions. We're here as a resource for you, and we'll see you in the next video.